Hey friends, welcome back to another video. My name's Emma Fave and I have a very exciting collaboration that I'm dying to share with you. So let's just jump in and get started. Okay friends, so today I am so excited to share a brand new collaboration I have with Arkaar Creations. It's a handmade watercolor company. I love their paints. You have probably seen me use them in a number of my videos, especially more recently. And they asked if I would do a collaboration palette, and I got to pick 15 of my favorite colors and create Emma's Botanical palette. So today I'm going to swatch these for you, and then at the end I'm going to paint a little something with them. I love these handmade watercolors, and I find myself being driven to use them more so than I've ever had with any other handmade watercolor brand. They also have beautiful sketchbooks, just like this one. And they also have tons more colors, but this was such a fun palette to create. You guys know I love painting botanicals and florals, and I got to pick my favorite 15 colors, and I'm so excited to show them to you. So let's start our video by swatching them. Okay, so there are the swatches of the colors in my palette. I'm just going to explain a little bit of why I chose some of these colors. I wanted something that wasn't just for botanicals. Obviously, you can use this for any kind of painting. Landscapes, it's going to be great. But I did have a lot of like florals in mind. I have never really had a lilac color in my palette. And once I tested out this color, I was like, I definitely need that in there. It's just such a beautiful color. It's a little bit on the opaque side, but it's just so beautiful. And it actually is fun to mix with other colors. Once you kind of get the hang of just playing around and mixing it, it's a lot of fun. And then obviously you guys know I love my greens, and I tested out a fair amount of greens before I settled on these three: sap green, dark green, and moors. So I definitely wanted a light green in my palette. This sap green had a bit more of like a yellow, kind of like golden green tint to it. So I really enjoyed that one, and I definitely needed that included in my palette. I always love a good dark green, kind of like a hooker's green. This one was just so beautiful and rich that I definitely needed to include it. And then this Moors color, this is the only kind of granulating paint in this palette, but I found it so interesting and fun to use. I'm just going to do a little bit of a close-up. You can see the granulation and the separation of this like green and black color, and it's so much fun. Arkaar Creations has an amazing line of some granulating paints, and I wish I could have included more of them in this, but I did want to keep it a little bit more on the general side of, you know, a palette that you can use for anything. But this color just stood out to me. Here's another kind of swatch of it. And you can get some really beautiful dark greens. And one thing I found that was so fun about just actively using this paint is that when you use it, here I was just doing like little swatches before, when you're actually painting with it, I'll just show you quickly, it like comes out black almost. Okay, and then as it starts to dry, it turns more green. So say I just kind of leave it there, but then when you touch it again, it looks more black. When you're kind of like activating it, it gets darker and then it dries lighter. It's just such a like fantastic paint color. I had to include it in this palette just because it's so much fun. And like I did here, I like using it for some of the really dark shadows on some of my botanicals and stuff like that. So that was a lot of fun to include. And I really wanted you to experience one of Trupti's granulating colors that are so much fun. Now, obviously, I needed a yellow. I just found this Ben's yellow really beautiful, light, not too overpowering, not too cool or warm. So it was a really great kind of middle ground yellow that you can mix well with others. Yellow ochre is always a staple in my palette. I don't know why, I always have to have it in every palette that I use. Ben's orange was so rich and vibrant that I thought it would be a really nice kind of warmer orange to use. Azo red, I tested a few different reds and I wanted a warmer red. I didn't want something that, I wanted a cooler red. I didn't want something that was too orangey. I wanted a deep kind of cherry red, and this one was absolutely perfect. Now, quinacridone rose, that's become one of my favorite pinks. I've always been like a permanent rose girl just because I always use Winsor & Newton, but I find a lot of quinacridone rose colors in multiple different brand lines has become my favorite, and this was no exception. This was absolutely gorgeous. It's just so rich and vibrant and beautiful, and the light value of it was so soft and nice. I had to include that. Quinacridone magenta is a really good one for mixing other colors as well, just to get a different kind of cooler pink. And then the two blues that I chose are kind of run-of-the-mill, but this ultramarine is not too granulating, which I love. I love the hue of ultramarine, but I find a lot of watercolors that are ultramarine pigments are more on the granulating side. This was not as granular, which I really enjoyed, so it's actually really nice to mix with others. And then Prussian blue is just another shade of blue that I thought would be nice to include. And I chose Prussian blue just because it is on the darker side, so you can get some really beautiful darker mixes with it. And then indigo is another one that I always love to have in my palette. Indigo or Payne's Gray. I decided to go with indigo just because it has that blue undertone, which I find so beautiful to mix. For my brown, which I thought you can definitely mix a brown, but I just love having some convenience colors in my palette. And the Cypress Burnt Umber was absolutely perfect. And then lastly, Mars Orange was very similar to like a burnt sienna, and had this earthiness to it that I absolutely love. So that's why I chose it. And this is the palette. Honestly, these colors are so much fun. I did this on Graby's paper, so it's not the best quality paper to do the swatches, but I don't know if you guys saw my swatches on my Instagram a little while ago. This is kind of the range of all the colors, but like look at the gradients you can get. But they're just such beautiful handmade watercolors that I'm absolutely obsessed with. And I've been finding myself just gravitating towards them, painting in one of Arkaar Creations sketchbooks. I have loved using this thing with her paints. So much fun. That's a Patreon tutorial. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of relaxing and fun for me to use. So I highly recommend you check out their website, check out my new collaboration palette with them, grab yourself some. And they are located in India. So one thing I love about that is that I have so many followers that are, you know, on the other side of the world that don't always have access to North American products. So having a company over there that I have been able to collaborate with and provide more access to other people on the other side of the world is so exciting for me. So grab yourself Emma's Botanical palette, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. So now I'm just gonna paint with these colors and enjoy them, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to check the description below for all of the info on the paints, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day, guys. Bye.